Yo, what's up? My name is Rich. Welcome back to another video. In this video right here, I'm gonna pretty much let you know about all the struggles, all the stressful points, and all the frustration in starting a t-shirt business. But honestly, for any business, if that matters, because a lot of it is pretty much the same. Before we get into it, I just want to let you know that this video is brought to you by Taylor Brands. So the first part I'm going to talk about is finances, and finances is obviously a struggle whenever you're starting in this game because there's so many production methods and you don't even know which route to go. The cheapest way is pretty much to get yourself a stack of transfers and get a heat press, or buy a heat transfer vinyl cutter and a heat press. And for me, I found that to be the cheapest. Finances can just be such an issue because it's hard to scale and hard to get all the things that you want right off the bat. And this is for any business for that matter, because you want finances to be able to purchase product, be able to pay for advertising. Whenever you're first starting off and you don't have that much, it just feels like you need all the finances in the world to get yourself going. Unless you're doing a digital product, but even then you need money for marketing. So that's just in relation to any business. But when it comes to the t-shirt business itself, even if we start off with $500 and we just have a single heat press, it feels like we're already tied down because we're already low on funds at that point. We want the label printer for our shipping label printer. We want to buy more blank t-shirts. We see awesome specialty heat transfers. We just see so many things that we want to get involved with. But the most important thing is just go ahead and start making money. It doesn't even matter how. You want to build your brand, I get it. And it's going to be hard, but you're going to have to start hustling and busting. You might make your website and you only have one or two t-shirts up, and you might only get one or two sales and you're only making 10, 20 bucks. You might have to focus on more than just one thing. Let's say you purchase the heat press, that's another thing too. You got to pay for a website, right? But let's say you just purchased a heat press, you can start providing options for other people and taking things like pre-orders or even supplying decoration for somebody else's brand. You got to offer these things up so you can build up some capital. And for my business model, of course, I sell on Etsy and all that. You can watch other videos to find out about that. But I pretty much did everything on an on-demand basis. So if somebody ordered a red size large t-shirt, I didn't have that t-shirt yet. Whenever I saw the order, I just made sure there was a way. If I listed something like that, I just made sure there was a way I can access that t-shirt either that day or within the next 2-3 business days, and I can get it to the customer in a timely manner. So let's say I find a red size large t-shirt. There better be a Hobby Lobby nearby that I know I can pick it up at, a Michael's, or even better, a distributor like Sanmar or Alpha Broder where I can pick it up, or some kind of wholesale blank place nearby. And once I get it in my hands, I can decorate it quickly and get it to the customer. So finances is a real slow build up, and it takes a lot of time to do this. And even if you didn't invest in something like a heat press that took up a lot of your capital to start off with, you could always start by using a different fulfillment company and stuff like that. However, it takes time to build that initial capital. So sometimes we got to keep our head down and just keep on hustling. And it's hard to do that in the very beginning whenever it's building up so slow. But I promise you, whenever you keep your head down and you just constantly keep building, one day you'll look back and you'll realize, hey man, I built up my capital. It just takes time. Speaking of taking time, let's take some time to check out our sponsor real quick, Taylor Brands. Taylor Brands can save you a lot of time because it's AI driven. It's a one-stop shop for aspiring small business owners with everything you need to jumpstart your business. It's a logo maker, domain, LLC, website, business, mailbox. It's a one-stop shop. If you got a great idea for a business but don't know where to start, Taylor Brands offers everything you need to launch your business. The logo maker is pretty dope because it's very dynamic. From logo to full business, launch your brand in minutes. It has the logo maker, register your business, and the whole branding package itself. Let's not forget about website, domain, business, mailbox, online and physical business cards, print, social media tools, and so much more. So make sure you check out Taylor Brands with my link in the description and use my code HustleNinjasYT for 40% off Taylor Brands. Like I said, time is one of the most difficult things whenever you're creating your business, and it's just so frustrating. It's so stressful, especially if you're like me. I'm 32, I have 2 kids now, and at this point, I'm pretty much okay. But when I first got into this business about 7 years ago, It was so difficult. I only had one kid at a time. My wife had the full-time job, and I just had to bounce around, you know, fit in my work where I could. You know, thankfully, I didn't have to work a job as well. I was making decent income from my previous gig just doing graphic design. However, this was still like, it was so frustrating. I didn't even have a balance. You know, my wife gets off of work, I'm working, you know, and I was being a full-time dad at the time. You know, daycare was a little pricey. So as soon as my wife gets off work, I'm working, and I had to work until 2, 3 in the morning just to figure things out. Sometimes I wasn't exactly making money. I was on my way, and sometimes I was making a few extra dollars here and there. But sometimes during that beginning process, I had to spend so much time learning, and that took away from having the time to make the actual money to make things happen. And finding the balance is the most difficult part. And I know sometimes we look at ourselves and ask ourselves if we're doing the right thing, because we have no balance. It feels like we have no time. It feels like everything's sucking everything out of us because time is just running out and we're making the most of it. And it feels like we're not getting anywhere. It is a crucial time whenever you're first starting off. It's just so difficult. I can't even explain it. I'm doing my best to explain it, but I know that one thing I can let you know is that you're not alone, because at these certain points in times when we're busting our butt up until 2, 3, 4 a.m. and you know there's nobody else around, it just feels like we start to question ourselves, especially night after night when we start seeing those small increases in capital. And even sometimes it feels like our capital is not even growing. We just ask ourselves if we're on the right track. And I promise you, if you're constantly researching, constantly putting in the work, sometimes the thing that's pushing us back is just our mentality. And if we get our mental correct, if we get our mental right, I can promise you, you're on the right track and you're not alone. And that's all I got to say about that. Time and balance is just so difficult. And one thing I noticed about time is if you have money, if you already have capital to start off with, then it's going to be more ideal for you to trade off your capital for somebody else's time. You know, make sure you're already hiring an employee to press your t-shirts. Make sure you're looking on Upwork or looking on Instagram for a nice designer that you can pay to get designs made quickly. Because in this case, you either have time or you either have money. And one thing about balancing your time is that over time, man, I've said time like 1,000 times. But anyways, over time, you will begin to realize what your schedule looks like. You know, start to go ahead and schedule it out. If you were like me, a stay-at-home dad at the time, as soon as your wife gets off work, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, doing some quick research, doing some quick prep, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, posting items up for sale, you know, 8 o'clock to whatever o'clock, getting new designs ready, 10 to 11, practicing new designs. Get this sorted out. Make sure you write these things down, because if you don't, then whenever it's time for you to get to work, you're gonna be a mess and you're not even gonna know what to start off with. And then you're gonna feel like you're fumbling a whole bunch of different things because it's hard to focus on one thing, especially when our mind is always all over the place. We always feel like we gotta get our website going, we gotta get more designs going, we gotta get our emails, we gotta get everything. But it's gonna be a problem if we don't write it down. So make sure you write it down so you can balance these things. Now, another thing I wanna talk to you about is patience. You know, we don't have the finances yet. We don't have the time, we don't have the balance, but one thing we do need is patience and trusting in ourselves. Patience is very, very important, especially in this day and age when you can log on to Instagram or log into YouTube and you see a 16-year-old who just made $1 million last week off of an NFT or a crypto. Yeah, it's kind of discouraging for us, right? And we get impatient and we want to hop into something else. Man, I need to get into NFTs. And you know, I personally been saying that to myself for like the past, I don't know, whole year. And I'm like, man, they're just killing it. And it destroys us on the inside. And we're like, are we on the right track? Are we chasing the right business? I can guarantee you one thing, you're not alone on that, because it's hard to have some patience. And like I said, when we don't have the time, sometimes we feel like giving up on ourselves. We need to have the patience to say, hey, don't give up, keep on going. And sometimes we don't have the patience because we run out of finances, and that buildup is so slow we don't even see it going up. We need to trust ourselves and say we can do these things and have the patience to keep on building. You know, a lot of this video right here is not even, you know, do this, do that. And I do this all the time. Most of my videos are very instructional on how, you know, how to heat press something, how to make some kind of t-shirt, whether it's screen printing, direct to garment, how to make some t-shirt sales, whether it's Etsy, Amazon. Half the times, it don't matter how much we know all of these things. Half the times, if we don't trust ourselves, if we don't believe in ourselves, then we're just not gonna do it. The other half of this entire game is all mental. If we don't tell ourselves that we're capable, then we're not gonna be able to do these things, even if we know how to do it. So being able to trust in yourself is going to be the most important thing in this entire game. All right, the last thing I wanna say is have some purpose in what you do. All right, so I'm gonna get a little personal. I really don't ever get personal, I suppose. So my oldest son, he has autism. He's 9 now, but it's difficult. Whenever you watch your child and you know that, you know, it's just as he grows, he's nonverbal, and you know there's really no, he can't really function on his own. He needs somebody, and for me, it's obvious that it'll probably be unlikely that, you know, he'll be able to have a typical job where he can provide for himself, and you know, and although finances may not solve everything, it's going to solve a whole lot of it. And it's just a common statistic, if you look it up, it's just that finances pretty much cure like majority of our problems. Finances are the reason why we're stressed all the time. Finances are the reason like why we go to work. Finances are the reason why sometimes, you know, even if we're not materialistic, it just destroys us because it pretty much controls our lives. We can't eat the things that we want to eat because of finances. And being able to trust in ourselves, having patience, finding the time to build our business it's what's gonna help us keep on running. And I know this last part, I've stuttered a lot, but you know, I'm trying to be a little more personal with y'all. And you know, like I said, have purpose in what you do, because a lot of this, it's got to be more than just about you. And if you know what that is, then it's going to help you keep on going. So, you know, that's pretty much it. So, hey, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me for so long now. I think it's about 3-4 years into this game with YouTube. We're over 100,000 subs now. I've said that several times. I appreciate y'all. Much love for y'all. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at rich_KHUN. And let's not forget about our sponsor, Taylor Brands. Use my link in the description and also my code HustleNinjasYT for 40% off. And I'm gonna catch y'all next time.